Okay, good morning everyone. Next we're going to be doing is to identify. Okay, so the first video we identified our zones on the weekly time frame and on the daily time frame, which are our thin red lines. So the next we're going to do is to identify our trend lines. This video is solely for identifying trend lines. So we should know the rules of trend lines, although I haven't made any descriptive videos on that. But the YouTube is full of those kinds of videos. It's not hard to do, it's not hard to find. So this is a trend line. Now why am I still drawing this trend line even though this trend line has already been violated? For two reasons. For one, practice. And for two, trend lines are diagonal support and resistance level, which means that it's still possible for price to come back to test them. So it is not a bad practice to draw the trend lines, at least to know, especially if price has broken through the trend line on a higher time frame. We're talking about the daily and the weekly, and sometimes even the 4 hours. If price has broken through a trend line, it is still good to, even if not keep it on your chart, it's still good to every so often check it out, because sometimes price might bounce off of the very back of that trend line. So you might call it a zone or something. I draw a trend line, but I don't like that trend line. It's too separate from current price action. And this our current trend line has already been broken. This is also a weekly trend line. But the thing is, even though I don't like this trend line, it's still valid. Well, depending on who you ask actually, because it's very far away from current price action. It's very far away from the recent price action, so it's not as valid as the second one. Okay, so now let's see what we can do drawing trend lines on the daily time frame. We have a trend line here, but it's been broken. We could draw it like this, but it's also been broken. And we can draw it like this, but then it just perfectly matches our weekly trend line. We could draw it like this, but it's already been broken. So there aren't any valid trend lines for us to draw on the weekly time frame. So the next thing for us to do is identify our trend origin. If you've watched even just one of my videos, you should probably already be able to easily identify where the trend origin is. So let's identify our trend origins, and we'll do that in the very next video.